What's up guys, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to another Force of Will Ancient Knights spoiler video. So let's kick this one off. I'm pretty excited for this one with the new ruler, Favor Latoilel. It was one of those guys. So he's a ruler elf. He's got a judgment of 2 wind and 1 of any. He's got energize. Rest 2 recovered elf resonators you control. Recover target magic stone. Play this ability only once per turn. So as you can see, we have elf tribal here, and this video is going to focus heavily on elf tribal, which is pretty cool. You know, I did that Wanderer Elfball strategy video a while back. If you have not checked it out, I would say maybe go check it out. It's a pretty cool elf deck, and I still have it. I still play it, like, occasionally. It's pretty good for Wanderer, and I think a lot of these cards are actually going to be pretty good for that deck. This guy, I don't think is quite as good as Feathsing, because Feathsing's pretty nuts, but he's okay. You can rest 2 recovered elf resonators you control to add, to recover 1 of your magic stones. That's kind of cool. Anything else that's important on this? Not really. So let's go over to his J-Rule. Oh, I guess I should note that you can do this when you first play the elf resonators. So you can do the tokens right when they come into play, because you're not like attacking or using their own abilities. You're using this dude's ability. Anyway, let's move on to the J-Ruler side. We have Favor Latoilel, King of the Wind. So he's an 800, 1000. Not the best stats for a J-Ruler, but not too bad. I guess you're not really using him for combat all that often. He is a J-Ruler elf. This card enters the field with 4 Gale protection counters, so that's kind of his little counter mechanic, I suppose. When this card enters the field, search your deck for an elf resonator with total cost 4 or less and put it onto the field, then shuffle your deck. And then you can remove a Gale protection counter from this card. Target elf gains barrier until end turn, so you can, actually protect your elves with the Gale protection counter, and you can remove a Gale protection counter from him to give an elf plus 300, plus 300. But you have a very limited number of counters. You only have 4, and you have no way to gain more counters. But you can remove them to pump up one of your elves that's not blocked to get in lethal damage. I think this is okay. You can also use it to save some of your better elves with with barrier. So I think this is a pretty okay elf strategy J-Ruler, but it's kind of weird because we also have Feathsing in the exact same block. Well, not in the same block. Feathsing is a Lapis cluster starter deck ruler, but still, I don't know. I think I might like Feathsing more because she just gives all your dudes plus 400, plus 400, and whenever you play 2 spells, you get 2 elves. But I think this guy's still pretty interesting, and he might see some play. He might be like a rogue elf build if an elf build is popular. Next up, we have the Saintly Elven Stone, and holy shit, I love this card. I'm slamming 4 of these into my elf deck. It is a special magic stone. You treat this card as a wind stone. You can rest to produce a wind, and you can rest it to give target elf plus 100 till end of turn. That's super good. The only downside of this is that it's a special magic stone, so maybe you take more damage from split heaven and earth. But other than that, man, this card's sweet. It's just fantastic for an elf deck, and I can't wait to get to these and cram them into my elf deck. So yeah, I like this card a lot. Next up, we have Portal in the Woods, and I think this card's pretty good too. So it costs 2 win. It's an addition. When this card enters the field, put 5 guidance counters on it. At the end of your turn, remove a guidance counter from this card. If you do, put a 100 elf resonator token into the battlefield. So it's basically you get 5 dudes for 2, but it's split over 5 turns. But the fact that you just constantly get elf tokens, I think is really good. The really big question is, for me personally, I'm going to use this. I'm thinking about using this in a Wanderer deck. Am I going to last 5 turns? Or do I just want something that immediately plays and just get a bunch of value? I think this card's pretty good. I think this card is a fantastic limited card and for draft. And it might see constructed play in New Frontiers. It's got a lot of value on it, so I think it's kind of cool. Maybe even in a Fox deck or something, because they're wind resonators. I don't know, but this has some potential. I like this token generating style card. Next up, we have the Spirit Color Elf. So it's a 100 for 1 wind. It's not super good. I do like the art, like a little goat in the corner. And it says, when this card enters the field, put a 100 wind elf resonator token onto the field. So we already have a card from, was it Return of the Dragon Emperor or Echoes of the New World? It's like a 500, 600 elf. And when it comes into play, you get a 100 token. And it costs only 2. So is this as good as that? I mean, it's pretty good. You get 2 elves for 1, and if you can pump the elves, then it makes it even better. If you have a, Sprint to the Beast Lady or another card that we're going to talk about in a minute, it's pretty good. I think this is actually not too bad for an Elfball deck, especially for Wanderer, where you can utilize the many elves. So yeah, I think I'm going to play around with this, and I might actually cram this into my Wanderer Elf deck, at least to try it. Next we have Commander of the Crowd. So we have a 700 for 3 wind. That's a lot of wind. It's a Resonator Elf. When this card enters the field, put 2 100 Elf Resonator tokens onto the battlefield. Whenever this card attacks, other elves you control gain +100 until end of turn. That's a pretty good elf finisher type card. It like bolsters your forces, and when you attack, bumps your team. I think this card's pretty sweet. I think if the elf like ball strategy, Elfball just means like a shitload of elves, by the way. I'm using that offhand because it's a magic term. But if the Elfball strategy here works, then I think this card will be sweet because you just build a whole bunch of you build a bunch of elves, your army of elves. That's what I was trying to say, and you just crash in for a lot of damage. I think this card's pretty sweet, and this only costs 3. I mean, the 3 winds kind of a lot, but you're probably just playing mono wind anyway. So yeah, that's not bad. I like this card. Next up, we have Favor's Command, and this is a 7-drop chant, 4 of any and 3 wind. It has a fantastic card. I really dig it. And it says, recover all resonators you control. Resonators you control gain +1000 and pierce until end of turn. So if you are playing an elf deck and you make it to 7 and you have at least a couple elves, then you win. Like, just flat out, you just kill them. 7's a lot, but at the same time, a lot of elves like ramp you, like, you know, Sacred Elf and Wanderer Elvish Priest and a bunch of other stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'm going to play around with this card. I currently use Sprint of the Beast Lady, which gives +600 for 3. So for like 4 more, I get to recover all my guys and do 1,000. So you get like 2 attacks, and they get bigger, and pierce. So in any case, I think this card's super sweet. It does a lot of damage if you can play it. Next up, we have Tia Latoyel, Archer Princess of Elves. So we have a super rare 900 for 2 of any and 2 wind. When this card enters the field, search your deck for a card named Tia's White Falcon. We will go over that one next. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. When this card enters the field, target Resonator gains when this is dealt damage, or when damage is dealt to this card, destroy it until end of turn. So if you have like a pinging effect, you can ping off the Resonator and blow it up. And speaking of pinging effects, she has a crazy one, 3 wind and 3 of any. This card deals 1,000 damage to target player. So yeah, she like domes your opponent for 1,000. That's pretty nuts. She also searches up the Falcon, and in general, I think this card's pretty good. I think it's pretty versatile. I think it's a good top end for Elf. I don't think you want to go any higher than 4. And the late game, if this is all you have, you can start just doming your opponent up for 1,000, and they can't really block it or anything. So that's pretty sweet. And it searches up another Resonator. So let's go over that Resonator real quick. That is Tia's White Falcon, and this is the last card for the spoiler video. Today is a 200 for 1 wind with flying. That's middling stats. And it says, as long as you control Tia Latoyel, Archer, Princess of Elves, this card gains swiftness. So 200 for a wind. Swiftness, that's not bad. And it says whenever this card attacks, it deals 200 damage to target player or Resonator. That's super good. This card is super good, especially if you're using Tia. So if you have Tia, it's a 200 with swiftness and flying, and whenever it attacks, it pings something. And because of Tia's ability, making it so, you know, target Resonator gains when it's dealt damage this turn, destroy it until end of turn. You can play Tia, play this dude, assuming you have 5 will. Play Tia, play this dude. Give one of your dudes that weakness type ability, and then swing in with Falcon, pick it for 200, kill it. Like, pretty sweet. Pretty cool card. It's kind of like this removal wombo combo type thing at 5. 5's a lot, but you still get 2 Resonators out of the deal, and they're pretty good Resonators too. So, yeah, guys, that is my spoiler video for today with Favor Latoyel, something like that. I think it's pretty sweet. There's a lot of really cool stuff here for like Wanderer Elves. And I guess just New Frontiers Elves in general. We'll have to wait to see if there's enough support for that to make it an actually good deck, because Wanderer still has some sweet stuff for Elves. It has like it has a really powerful Christie, has a really powerful Melfi, it has the Feadsing, all these cards. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but just check out that Wanderer Elves strategy video that I made a while back, and it'll tell you all the good stuff you need to know. So yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe. All that shit helps, and I appreciate it very, very much. Regardless of what you do, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one all, and I will see you later.